Hello, my whelps of the Antichrist. How is your ever growing dismal 2025 going? What is that intro? Okay. So I know that last year was a crazy chaotic year from boats off of Venezuela being illegally blown up, trans people targeted because Trump and his and friends regret the idea of blowing Bubba, VTubers wrongfully being lambasted from terrible YouTube AI moderation because human bad, to Asmongold joining libertarians like Curtis Yarman. And lastly, the endless black screen that is the Epstein files. What? You think I'd forget? And we haven't even gone through the second half of Project 2025. Oh, yeah. This is going to be a great 2026, alright. Now, I know that a bunch of you are just dying to get out of this loony bin situation but from what Kyle Zelensky and Asmongold has stated, it's only going to get worse. However, it won't be much longer. Okay? The midterms are coming up, and early voting starts in February 17th of 2026. And I know the Trump regime is gearing up to do some really stupid things, including getting JD Vance prepped for being the next in line as substitute president. Yep, that dork is getting ready for what appears to be a polygamistic relationship. Of course, those of us who know, he likes getting his pickle tickled by Boku no Pico and that Cat Planet Cuties. Oh, and what of Elon Musk and his endless narco-induced Twitter rants? Which, for a guy that dislikes Trump, he sure is getting a lot of money to advance his poorly managed SpaceX program from DJT. And don't get me started on waifu Grok. We all know who the real AI waifu is. Plus, Elon and his moronic evil minions are always adjusting their algorithms and definitions to keep you dumb AF. I mean, just take a look at how Microsoft and Oracle are joined in holy matrimony to keeping you looking like the NPCs from Wall-E. Thanks, Linux. You have helped me salvage my sanity. For those of you who don't know, I actually stream on Twitch and do my YouTube videos on Linux. It's not that bad, actually. Some people think it's scary. Well, it's only scary if you let some Linux elitists convince you to use Arch Linux. Which, by the way, I advise you don't. There are two distros that VTubers can use. I personally use Bazite. And some ordinary gamers actually made me aware of another, which I forgot what that distro is. Anyways, the only downside is for games that use kernel anti-cheat, you're going to want to get a console with a capture card or a secondary PC running Windows 11. Never mind, just get a console. Most streamers do anyway, and get yourself a secondary monitor. I also use Blender for video editing, which is the elite and hard mode video editor, but it lets you do some really, really, really fancy things you would not normally do on something like, I don't know, Filmora. Alright, so aside from glazing PewDiePie and Mudahar, the doom and gloom may not stop there, as these tech billionaires hate the nuances of humanity so much that... Remember that anime, My Wife Has No Emotion? Yeah, it turns out China is getting ready to do the most extreme version of that by making it possible to create a family with robot waifu. Want to make a family with Rhea Scrimry, Esdeath, Saber, Bulma, Yelan, Chang Li, Lara Croft? Thanks to China, it is very possible because they're making robots that you can impregnate. What is this level of dystopian society? Oh, God. Not only that, I think Peter Thiel is going to try to normalize this by creating a tech religion. That's going to be something. Goodbye Christianity, Buddhism, Taoism, and all religions in the future. Looking forward to that one. So, how do we stop all this? Well, it's definitely not ending democracy according to one YouTuber. That's for sure. For now, the impeachment of the Trump administration is the number one thing to do, and with the tech billionaires being involved in the Epstein case, it won't be long before they're brought down as well. We as Americans need to hold out until the midterms because that is when the Trump regime will get really, really screwed. Of course, I realize that there is a huge risk involved, and that is the downfall of YouTube and Twitch because of their affiliation with Amazon and Microsoft. And with that, so many people lose livelihoods because once the Titanic hits that iceberg, FleshTuber or VTuber, I don't want you to sink with the ship. And as much as I hate the guy, the quartering, he at least advocated for a number of years for people to look to alternatives, as I am with Odyssey and Kick. And to some extent, some CCs are going to go to Rumble to stream, which of course my ass is going to get really blasted by the level of uneducated, conservative dickheads over there. Personally, I don't really like the direction that people are just going to say goodbye to one another. I can see many collabs and friendships being torn apart this year, as many go their separate ways due to differences in ideology. Advertisers and sponsors might get a bit scarce because of the crypto scams being enabled by YouTube and other social media platforms, and it's going to get really disparaging this year. But as long as you keep hounding the Epstein files and the impeachment of the Trump administration, maybe people can salvage something. Anyways, stay safe, stay sane in 2026. God, please stay sane. Requiescat in pace.